Hi guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about very important issues. The first issue we're going to talk about is the feds just did a raid on the dark web. And like I said to you, if you're in this program, 9 times out of 10, you're in this program and you're on the dark web. This is why I gave you the link. Have I Been Pawned? Have I Been Pawned is not a spoofing site. It is a site that you go to. It's a credible site that you go to find out if your email has been hacked. Another very credible source is one of the three major credit reporting bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and I forgot the third one. And Experian could run a dark web scan to see if your credentials are being bought and sold on the dark web. This is a very important video that I'm making today. So grab a pen and paper. We're going to go through some links. I'm going to read off of some of the links. I'm going to read off of some of the websites to let you know what's going on. It is important that you get digital audits. I know it is expensive, and I know if you're put in this program and some of you are in phase 4, I know that it's very difficult to get the kinds of funds that you're going to need to get these audits, because unfortunately, and this is what makes this crime so untraceable and so difficult, what makes this crime very difficult is the cost of getting these types of audits done. And you have to remember that these people are professional criminals. They are not the kind of criminals that's going to rob you on the street where there are cameras everywhere. I'm still surprised that people commit crimes, and there are cameras everywhere. They're not going to rob you on the streets and there are cameras everywhere. You understand? They're not going to rob you on the streets and there are cameras everywhere. Okay, this is the type of crime that's virtually untraceable unless you have the finances to do the tracing and to get the audits done. There are many people out there that's telling you, buy this device and buy that device and buy this and buy shielding and buy this. And I'm the only one that's telling you shielding doesn't work if you don't detox. Number 2, you're going to be shielding for the rest of your life. Okay, what you need to have done is you need to have audits, and those audits need to be traced out to the 5 who, when, why, what, and where. Okay, I'm the only one that's telling you that you need to get audits done. Okay, audits have to be performed. You need to know who, what, why, when, and where. I'm also one of the few people telling you that this program is being run from the dark web. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how it's run from the dark web to commercial entities, such as through corporations, through the intranet, because the intranet is connected to the internet. So we have 3 parts of the internet. Before we get into the program, we need to understand that the internet has 3 parts. Okay, there is the 6% of the internet, some say it's 10%. There's 6% of the internet, that's the part we use to communicate, to research, to find information. There is the 4%, that's the dark web. The dark web is 100% criminal. It's 4% of the internet as we know it, and it's 100% criminal. Okay, and then we have the 90%, which is where governments and corporations work. This program goes, if it's through government, this is how it works. Get your pen and paper, because you need to understand this. It goes from the intranet, either government or corporation, to the dark web, which is 100% criminal. The criminal entities that are gang stalking you, harassing you, putting you on these websites, these networks, these kinds of things, that portion is done through the dark web. And I'll explain why it's done through the dark web. It's done through the dark web so that it's untraceable, okay? Unless, the forensic expert has unmasking tools to unmask who, what, why, when, and where, you're stuck. Okay, so we're looking at, let's say, government and corporate, which is their intranet, the back end of their communication system. From the intranet to the dark web, this is where they get the hackers that hack your networks. This is where they get the criminals. This is where they get the gang stalkers. This is where those websites that you're on, this is where they are. Okay, this is where these websites are, the dark web. And then from the dark web through the regular web. So we see intranet, dark web, deep web, dark web, regular internet. So that's how it flows, and then through the regular internet. And then when you have implants like myself and many of you out there, if you're getting things like V2K, if you're getting things like directed energy weapons, more than likely there are frequencies coming out of your body or frequencies going in. Those frequencies are hooked up to the implants or the nanotech. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't have technology in your body, because some of the technology is so finite, it's so small, okay, that's inside of your body. And some of this technology is able to assemble itself, okay, with the right frequency. So self-assembling technology, and they can disassemble or deassemble at the same time, okay? So when you have technology in your body and you're getting shocks and you're getting hit with directed energy weapons, or you're not carrying any tech devices and you're like out in the middle of nowhere where you know there are no cameras and they're still able to track you, this is how it's done. It's from the technology, the wearables, that's the commercial name, but they're called wireless body area networks. And I keep drilling this in your head so you would understand. From the wireless body area network that pings a frequency, it pings a frequency. Those frequencies are hooked up to your cell towers, they're hooked up to antennas, they're hooked up to satellites, television, radio, and internet. Okay, then it goes through these same 3 channels. If it's corporation or government that's doing it, their intranet on the underbelly of the internet, to the dark web, to the regular internet. And this is why many of you have perps aiming phones at you. When you go out, you see perps aiming the phones at you. Yes, they're trying to make a connection, okay? So this is some of the things that you need to understand. This is some of the things that you need to know about. If you don't have tech devices inside of you, you also need to be aware that there are commercial tech devices that can be installed on a person's electrical outlet that can shoot these weapons at them. If you ask any private detective, or you ask a technology and counter surveillance measure professional, they will tell you that there are commercial applications that you can buy on eBay, that you can buy online, okay, and you can hook it up to a person's electrical system if the person knows what they're doing. And then they can shoot these energy weapons at you. They can hook it up to the roof, they can hook it up in front of their homes, they can hook it up inside, break into their homes and hook it up inside of their homes. And as well, they also put hidden cameras in the homes. So if you don't have it inside of you and you're being assaulted in your homes, this is another reason why you need to look at my other video that tells you need to get that second type of scan, okay? And I'm pushing for 2 types of scan. The most important scan is a scan of your home. The second most important scan is a scan of your body, okay? And you need to get this done by professionals, okay? Professionals who's been to court for these things. I'm the one telling you this, okay? I'm the only one telling you this because I've been there, I've done it, and I have the papers to prove it, okay? So this is what's important. So we're gonna start off the video. So let's go to look at the feds raiding the dark web, okay? Okay, so here we see feds bust over 35 suspected dark web vendors, seizing everything from drugs to a grenade launcher. Now, some of you are going to say, oh, but they're telling you drugs to grenade launcher. But the operative words that we see here is that the feds said they seized everything from this to this. So we don't know what's in between that. We don't know what's in between drugs to grenade launchers. Okay, so this is the dark web. You see that they're saying seizing everything from to. It tells us that there were other things they discovered that they're not disclosing, that they either shut down or they're going after. And who's the one that's doing it? The Department of Justice announced on Tuesday the first nationwide undercover action to target vendors of illicit goods on the dark web. The portion of the internet only accessible via specific software like Tor, like a Tor browser, Tor network. According to the DOJ, the operation involved at least 5 federal agencies and entailed Homeland Security investigations agents posing as money launderers, leading to the arrest and impending prosecution of more than 35 darknet vendors. The DOJ claimed the operation resulted in the seizure of massive amounts of illegal narcotics, over 100 firearms, including handguns, etc. So we see that this is drugs and guns, but this is not what we're concerned with, right? 3.6 million in currency and gold bars, cryptocurrency, with a value of 20 million. Okay. The dark web is in fact mostly full of low effort garbage. As a matter of fact, it's 100%, but it's acquired a sinister reputation over the course of the past years for its association with criminal enterprises. This is why I kept saying to you that the dark web is where these things take place. The virtual voyeurism, when you have hidden cameras in your home and they hook you up to the internet, all of those websites are on the dark web, right? Enterprises like black market auction and e-retail sites trafficking everything from drugs and guns to ransomware. Why is ransomware a keyword here? Ransomware is what they use to take over your cell phones, your laptops, and your computers. And if they're successful in putting cameras in your home, they are able to build these websites. When they hijack your computer and your cell phones, they are able to build these websites, build the URLs, view you in your home, and then run it on the dark web. And that is where these things are. Other dark web hubs have included, I don't want to say those words, such networks are only as secure as their weakest link. In the past few years, authorities have more than clued on to dark web enterprises and have infiltrated and shut down major networks like one-time giant Silk Road and its upstart competitors Alphabet and Hansa. Pervice tactics police have used to bust dark web black markets have included undercover infiltration, malware, IP harvesting, monitoring cryptocurrency transactions, and simply intercepting shipments. In the case of Hansa, authorities actually secretly took control of the entire operation and rewrote its code to harvest instead of encrypt user data. The BBC reported in 2017 that criminal activity on the dark web tends to simply fan out to other sites. You see what we were saying? Let's read that again. The BBC reported in 2017 that criminal activity on the dark web tends to fan out to other sites after takedowns of high-profile markets. Now, why is that important? Because we know that they are viewing the TIs on these sites, and I'm telling you how they're able to do it. They're able to do it from the hidden cameras in your home. They're able to do it when they hijack your computer screen, when they hijack your tablets, your cell phones, okay? And then they use these ransomwares or botnets or whatever to backdoor into your tech devices, and then they're able to put you on these illegal sites that monitor you and mock you and all these things. Okay, while Europol advisor Alan Woodward told the news network sellers believe they're relatively immune. He added it is possible repeated high-profile busts have freaked out buyers who have to provide delivery address and the like. According to the Next Web, some sellers who have built good reputations and customer bases have begun moving allegedly safer private shops instead of semi-public marketplaces. Okay, then let's go back to this. Okay, so we just reviewed that one article that talks about the feds are moving into. Let me just wipe this off really quick. Yeah, so the feds have just raided a dark website. Again, I'm not saying that they raided any site that has anything thing to do with what's how TIs are being trafficked. But again, it shows us. I'm the one telling you. When you go to that site, we see that our credentials are being bought and sold. I have the audits, bought and sold on the dark web. Not only your credentials are being bought and sold, when people buy your credentials, they're able to fake government records like me with a fake arrest and standing in a courtroom. And I'm like, what? When did this happen? Okay, so they're able to get your credentials like your state ID, your passport, your social security, all these things. When these things are purchased on the dark web, when people get into trouble, they just pull their fake ID. Not only that, they're able to clone your credit cards and clone your debit cards. And cloned credit and debit cards are sold on the dark web. But there's more to this. So it's important that TIs understand. Hold on. It's important that TIs understand that the criminals who are doing this are running the remote neural networks through the dark web. The remote neural networking that monitors you, that tries to influence your behavior, that stalks you, harass you, the predatory behavior. This is emanating from the dark web. The monies that are passed, the monies that are bought and sold, the monies that are traded, given from one person to the next to harass you, stalk you, set you up, get you into car crashes, accidents, murder, death before your time. This is being done through the dark web, and cryptocurrency is what is used because it's an untraceable type of money. What is being used to make these financial transactions? I am not saying the whole cryptocurrency market is crooked. I am saying that the cryptocurrency market emanated from the dark web. This is how things were bought and sold on the dark web. Cryptocurrency before it became commercialized. Okay, so we need to understand that. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is many of you, one second, many of you, and as a matter of fact, most of the people who contact me, most of the people who contact me are either church members or ex-church members. And that is not a coincidence because even though I knew I was monitored before, this program did not go on steroids until I entered those churches. It is important for you to understand, okay? It is important. Now, the reason why I'm making this video private is because, first of all, this information is not for everyone. Second of all, many people are daft. Let's just call it like we see it. Many people will see things in front of them that they know is just downright wrong and still defend it, okay? Many people will see what's in front of them, see that it's just messed up, and still defend it. Or see someone in the church do some fucked up bullshit and still defend it. So this is why I'm just making these videos private. Okay, this is for people who are serious, who want serious information, and they want serious help to get them out of this program. Okay, so the second thing we're going to look at, the second article we're going to read is, and I'm going to break that down when I'm done. We're going to look at, is churches taking out life insurance policies on their members without their knowledge. Guys, wake the hell up. Not only that, there are people in the churches who take out life insurance policies on themselves and leave it to their churches. Are you dumb? Like, are you dumb? Or people in their will leave their assets to churches. Are you crazy? Like, okay, so let's look at these. Let's look at this. Let's just look at this other article. Church caught up in nightmare after life insurance scheme sours. Okay, so Lindbergh Road Church of Christ in Anderson didn't have many financing options when its leaders decided in 2005 it was time to expand a successful childcare center. The church could use 700,000 in pledges from its members to obtain a construction loan and work in phases. Or it could take out life insurance on some of its elderly members and use their death benefits to back a $2.5 million line of credit, which would pay for the childcare center plus other upgrades at the affiliated Anderson Christian School. Lindbergh Road opted for the latter and in the late 2006 bought $4.35 million in life insurance on 11 of its members. Now, the church is trying to avoid foreclosure by Fort Wayne-based Star Financial Bank, which promoted the insurance scheme along with the Total Financial Group of Carmel. This whole plan that was supposed to provide funding has not worked out the way they were expecting it. We were expecting it, said Tom Snell, administrator of the Anderson Christian School and former church elder. Snell wasn't among the church trustees who signed off on the life insurance, but he's familiar with it because the school guaranteed the construction loan with its tuition revenue. The key to the plan was the insurance, which was supposed to pay off either in death benefits or through a sale of policies on the secondary market. Things fell through in 2009 when the church looked to sell policies through Total Financial Group and was told there was no market for them. The pattern is typical of life insurance finance programs that were promoted and sold to charities and churches across the country in recent years, usually with bad results for buyers, insurance experts said. Okay, so why is this important? Let's close this out. Okay, so why is this important? Think about what I'm telling you. When I first realized that I was in this messed up program, one of the first things I was told by several TIs is look out for life insurance policies. Life insurance policies is a key to this messed up program. So for years, I looked and looked, and finally someone told me check MIB. They're the National Insurance Database to see if you have insurance policies out on you. And I did that and it came back and it said it was clear. But then I learned, because I began to do some serious research, and you can only get this information from me if you email me. I began to do some serious research and I realized that MIB was not sufficient. You need an active group of people who know how to search for these things. Okay, like insurance lawyers who know what to look for, where to search, how to search to find these things. And MIB was not deep enough and far and wide enough to do so. So I did some research and I came across a website, and I'm not going to say too many names about it. And this group of people is the #1 group in the United States who search for insurance claims on a person. Not only that, they're also the #1 in the country for insurance fraud. That is, people who take out life insurance on other people to collect the benefits. Okay, insurance fraud. And on their website, when you go there, they show you some of their work that they performed where they discovered people had insurance policies taken out on them without their knowledge. And some of those people subsequently died, and the insurance policies were paid out, and then family members paid them to go do the homework, and they found out these things. To get the search done, it takes 6 to 8 weeks for them to do the search, and it costs $150. That information, I'm not giving out that information just like that. This is my hard-earned research. But for those who are serious about getting this kind of information, you can contact me. Okay, so the search, and they check everything because that is what they do and that is who they are. They check everything and they know where to check, that where MIB doesn't go, they go. And it's $150, and it takes 6 to 8 weeks to pull all the records. Okay, I was told when you're in this program, there's some kind of insurance claim out on you. And also the perps also use auto insurance to collect money from auto insurance. Okay, auto insurance is another big scam. So we're going to take a look at another article. The life and times of a most wanted fraudster. Account takeover fraud, CNP card not present fraud, tax frauds, selling stolen financials, selling fake bank accounts, the dark web. The security experts are fighting it today. Chances are that Brett Johnson was there when it started. In fact, chances are that he helped create it. Johnson is one of the good guys now, but once upon a time, he was one of the baddest bad guys out there, a star of the most wanted list. As such, he knew a few things about how the fraud industry works, and yes, it is an industry. The TI business is an industry. I'm going to say this again. Listen to one of the top persons who helped create the whole industry of this dark web fraud that TIs are in. He says it is an industry. And I've said this countless times that if you are a TI, you are worth a lot of money to someone you may or may not know. Johnson said that's the main thing most organizations don't understand about fraud when they try to fight it. Banks and merchants know they have a fraud problem, but they don't understand how organized it is. The TI industry, again, the TI industry is an industry. It is a part of this whole criminal fraud industry, and it's an industry for the buying and selling and trafficking of human beings. It is the buying and selling and trafficking of human beings, whether it's for voyeurism, whether it's for virtual reality porn, whether it's for medical experimentation, whether it's for testing new technologies, whether it's for, you name it, it is an industry, and it is highly organized. And there is no way that you're put in this industry without someone paying money and without you being very, very, very expensive. There are 3 things you need to do to commit cybercrime successfully. You need to gather info. Doesn't that sound like phase 1? You need to commit the crime, phase 2, and you need to cash out. This is where the financial transaction takes place. The cashing out, where the person who throws you into this program, they cash out, and then the perps move in. If you can't do all 3, the crime fails. It's hard to find one person who's good at all 3. The dark web communities allow people to network, just like the TI community. It's just like the people doing the targeting. It's a network. It's a people network. Wait, why does that sound familiar? Oh, it's like a criminal version of LinkedIn. And it's ironic enough, LinkedIn had the largest hack on their members, and a lot of their members' credentials and emails are being sold on the dark web. Okay, he says there's 240,000 members. Or rather, had Alphabet, the primary dark web marketplace and community, was shut down by law enforcement early last summer. Still, those 240,000 people aren't just going to close up shop. If anything, the next dark web community will be even bigger and more organized. And 240,000 is a whole lot more than 4,000, which is how many people Johnson said were in his original dark web community shadow crew. Like the criminal community he built, Johnson's fraudulent activity started small. The former fraudster shared his story with payments and passed along the insight it's given him in his new life as a good guy. Okay, so we're not going to go into his life, but we're going to look at the nature of the nurture beats nature. Okay, let's see this. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, Johnson, okay, let's see this. So he started something fake. Then Johnson pulled out of his role as the head admin when Shadow Crew started getting IP hits from law enforcement, and just in time too, since Albert Gonzalez got arrested around the same time for doing the exact same thing Johnson was doing, encoding white plastic cards with debit information and using them to cash out at ATMs. Those of you who are getting hits on your debit cards and your credit cards, this is where this is coming from. You're not getting those hits because it's coming out of nowhere. If you're getting this hit because all of who you are is bought and sold on the dark web. You're not just getting these cyber attacks on your debit cards, on your credit cards, on your Cash App, on your PayPal, none of these things. You are getting these hits because your credentials are on the dark web and you are bought and sold on the dark web. Okay, you need to get this and you need to understand this. This is why you need to get audits done. Luckily for Johnson, he discovered tax fraud by then. Look at this, tax fraud. And he was pulling in a cushy 160,000 per week, filing one tax return every 6 minutes. In case you ever wondered why your tax returns are delayed every year, this is why. But he found himself in a corner when tax season ended. He couldn't access his funds. He couldn't access his funds offshore, and he was afraid to mess around with credit cards as police grew savvy to that type of activity. You see the credit card fraud? Many TIs have hits on their PayPal, on their banking, on their credit cards, and all these things. So those are something else that you need audits done on as well. Don't just close it up and report it. You need to get audits done. Okay, he was picked up by the Charleston Police Department soon after that, and they knew exactly who they caught. Okay, so the police handed him over to the Secret Service. Johnson swore he'd do anything they wanted as long as they let him go back to his girlfriend, a cocaine-addicted stripper whose rehabilitation Johnson was funding with his fraud, and he did indeed do what they asked. Do what they asked, sort of. Johnson spent a short time working for the Secret Service, even while continuing to commit credit card fraud. Look at this. So he's working for the Secret Service. You see, this is why many TIs think that it's the feds that are doing it. And I keep trying to tell them, you can't say all, because I've encountered some who don't know, and I've encountered those who do. However, so he's working for the Secret Service while he's committing credit card fraud. By day, he taught agents about cybercrime, see, and how dark web communities operated. By night, he was still churning out prepaid cards loaded with stolen debit data. There were good guys who wanted to help me, Johnson said in hindsight. They tried, but I wouldn't listen. Johnson was in and out of prison after that, blah, 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 blah. You can read the articles on payments.com. Third time's a charm. He reached out to an FBI agent who had been involved in all major cybercrime busts and asked for guidance. The agent took him under his wing. People finally gave him a chance to do right. Okay? So that's another article. Let's stop that. Okay, so what does that tell us? It tells us if the number one guy at the time who helped build this whole system of this whole industry of fraud is telling you all these different types of ways they commit fraud. And it's also telling you that he was able to work with people in the government and to show them how their shit is working. When are you going to listen to me when I'm telling you, TIs, when I'm telling you that you are bought and sold and traded on the dark web? That's where this is occurring. That's why you need digital audits. That is why you need digital audits, okay? So you're either being bought and traded and sold on the dark web, okay? Not just your information, okay? Not just your personal information. You are being bought and traded and sold on the dark web, okay? Right. So we covered that. So we did the insurance fraud. Okay, so we talked about the insurance fraud on church members. People, why the hell would you let anyone take out life insurance on you? Are you an idiot? Are you that daft? Why would you let anyone take out fucking life insurance out on you? Are you that much of a brain dead zombie and then collect the death benefits? Are you that much of a brain dead zombie? But the issue here is some of the members didn't know insurance was taken out on them. Okay? Churches are taking out life insurance policies on their elderly, on their sick, and some of their members. Okay? If you've been in a church and they were the cause of your persecution, they were the cause of your targeting and your harassment, like myself, you need to get an insurance audit done. And you need to get it by an insurance lawyer, an insurance investigator who can tie out and find if there are any insurance claims out on you. Okay? You need to do this. I hope that helps. Okay, so, and last but not least, if you are getting, the most important part of the video is if you are getting assaults, you need to buy an EMP device. I was doing some research online and I saw that there were some very good high voltage EMP device. However, I never used them, so I don't know. And they were relatively cheap. They were like $150 and they could actually shut down slot machines. Okay, so that tells you how pretty powerful they are. The only problem is I've never used them and I don't have directions on how to aim them at these implants, because these things can cause serious problems with the human body if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, if you have V2K or you're getting electrocuted or you're getting harassed, you need to get an EMP device. I have a contact who sells EMP devices with instructions on how to use it, and it is 100% successful. The only thing is, it costs $350. I have not purchased it yet. I want to purchase it. I want to use it on me first. And if it works, I will be willing to share that information only with those who are serious about buying it. An EMP device. The other one is that in Mexico, I have the website somewhere. Let me see if I could do a search and find it. Just give me 1 second to see if I can find this. This one. This is something else I want to speak about. So therapy. Hold on, I'm just trying to look for this here. Is it this one? No, that's not it. It's up. I can't find it anymore. I wonder if it's still up. I wrote this down somewhere. Okay, I can't find it. Okay, sorry about that. I had the website years ago and I wrote it down somewhere. It's somewhere in some of my notes. It's a clinic in Mexico, and basically what they do is they have, like William Reich. Okay, so William Reich had this room, and basically it was an EMP device. It was an EMP room, and you would walk into it, rife frequency, and you would go into this chamber, and basically you would turn up this electromagnetic device, and it would basically reverse all the problems in your body, expel parasites, expel toxins, and all these things, and reverse diseases. There was a clinic in Mexico, and it wasn't $16,000. I checked it because I had the website. I have it in my notes, somewhere in my notes, and it was like $450. And basically, what they did is they would put you in a room and they would hit you with like these pulse electromagnetic frequency. It would shut down these devices and it would reverse all these sicknesses. Okay, so that was like $450. So, but I don't know, I can't find it online anymore. So if I find it, I'm gonna do a video and talk about it. But I'm working on getting an EMP device to disable these implants because I'm not gonna live with these devices in my body. This is a nightmare. I am not walking around with people inside, using technology to communicate with me inside of my body. These people are crazy. They are nuts. They're psychos. I will not be someone's voyeur toy. I'm not hearing this. Okay. So again, I hope this information helps you. Have a wonderful day and peace out. Talk to you soon. Bye.